Hello everybody and welcome to the Circuit Jerez de la Fontana in Spain. It is the Spanish Grand Prix and it is time for the sprint race to get underway for the Premier class as well. 12 laps ahead of us, it shouldn't take too long, but let's head down to the pits because Natalie is with the Aprilia team boss.
Because he did an unbelievable result. After a crash in FP3, we lost one bike, so we haven't the possibility to choose between the rain tire and the slip. So we put everything on the bike, 100% of his power and energy, and he achieved an unbelievable result. So we thank him so much. And seeing the race pace, as you said, is not so bad. I don't want to say nothing more than this, but starting from the first position is something that can help. We think also that Maverick can do a good race because during Friday he demonstrated a good race pace.
And we've also seen him practicing his starts because that was an issue in Austin, wasn't it? Is he happier this weekend?
Was the first goal for us during the Friday. In this circuit, it's possible to start from the pit lane because it's safe to do this. And we did many starts, changing different parameters to give to him the best confidence.
Thank you, Paolo.
Thanks so much.
Paolo Banara there giving us the story for Aprilia. But Valentino Rossi, 9-time world champion, is here giving his brother a little bit of advice. Luca Marini going from 9th. Of course, this is the team that's leading the championship with Marco Bezzecchi, who heads from 13th today. What do you think Valentino is saying to Luca?
I think he's just going to say
He's
something.
telling him the track's hot, because that worked for you, didn't it?
No, I think he'll just be telling them to relax. You know, you get the feel that in that team there is a really relaxed atmosphere. He'll be telling him, look, mate, this is just like at the ranch. We're having fun. You're going to give it your best. And he's not in a great position on the grid, so you know, try and do your thing and try and enjoy yourself. You know, you get that vibe in that team. You know, there's not like that negative pressure. It's a great team. You know, loads of experience, but you get that like chilled vibe. So we've seen Valentino as well, really chilled in the paddock earlier on.
Yeah, he seems to be like the Pied Piper, really, doesn't he? Everywhere he goes, there's stacks of people running after him and he doesn't seem to stop. The topsy-turvy, really, year of MotoGP. Last winner, last time out, Alex Rins is pretty much at the back of the field. You can't predict it, can you?
No, it is, and we could have a new winner here, so it is. It's one of those seasons in MotoGP where it's really difficult to predict. No one's going to steal a march. The one we expected was Pecco Bagnaia. He's been on the ground twice already this season in the feature races. So yeah, I think the likes of Miguel Oliveira could spring a surprise. Johan Sarko's still to win a race. There's so many candidates to win this season. But yeah, looking back at the VR46 boys, they specialise in coming through and being aggressive in this race. So yeah, they're still going to fight their way to the front, and yeah, you wouldn't rule them out of a podium contention before the end of this race as well.
Well, you've just been seeing shots, I think, of Dani Pedrosa, and we're just about to walk past him. And we're all really excited to see him back in the paddock, a wild card this weekend. And he means business, and he's qualified in 6th place. And I think, Michael, you think he's got a better chance tomorrow in a longer race. So, you know, what would it mean to see him up on the podium here? I mean, that would be extraordinary, wouldn't it?
It would be absolutely ridiculous. I mean, we know he was one of the aliens back in the day, but things have moved on, you know. He's not been racing competitively for ages, and he's been doing all that background work as a test rider. And I know what it feels like, you know, you're going round and round and round in circles for ages, and it's very hard to go for the pure performance. He's been able to step it up here. So what he's done here, it's a little bit like when Troy Bayliss came back and won that race in Valencia. It's like a performance that you don't expect. So my heart is 100% with Dani Pedrosa, and I really hope he can go and win that race or go on the podium. But my head is with Jorge Martin.
Seems to be that way as well as we get ready. What has happened to my camera in terms of the green screen? It has got a little bit wrong there, so we'll adjust that. It's the light of where we are in the commentary box. It just keeps adjusting with the chroma key as well, but it's quite easy to fix. You just adjust the similarity settings as well, and then I'm back in the commentary box in the garage as well, but it's because the sun is rising and setting just alongside us here in the commentary box B. Okay, maybe that'll work then. If Megan's laptop turns my earphones up a bit more, I can actually hear what's going on. So, after a very exciting qualifying earlier on, we've got Aleix Espargaro on pole position, but we've got the big championship protagonists completely out of loop. If you take a look down the field, it's quite surprising, because we've got Bagnaia starting in 5th position, had to go through qualifying 1, managed to get up the order as well. But then further down, there's problems as well. Pedrosa 6th, great for him on debut. But look at Fabio Quartararo, his worst ever qualifying position here at Jerez. He's 16th on the grid. That's not just for the sprint race, that's also for the main race later on. 5 minutes to go then until the race starts. Track temperature is at 50 degrees, air temperature 30 degrees, and these guys got to put on a lot of heavy leather as well, with an airbag system as well. Taking a look as well further down, 6 km/h wind speed, now just changed over to 5 km/h. Wind direction goes in northwest as well. 38% humidity, so it's all looking okay. We all know about the World Championship, but if you don't, just coming into this one, Bezzecchi leads the title on 64 points. He's 11 clear of Bagnaia after Bagnaia crashed last time out in America. Rins is on 47. Then we got Vinales on 45, Zarco 44, Marini's on 38, Quartararo's on 34, Alex Marquez is on 33, Binder's on 30, Morbidelli's on 29. Then we get, he's on the same as Jorge Martin, Miller's on 6. Aleix Espargaro starts on pole position and he has 18 points to his name in this year's championship as well. But here we go then, it's time for all the action to start and get ready for his first sprint of the year. It is MotoGP back in Europe for the first time since the start of the season. A 12-lap sprint to decide the grid. As well, here we are then. The starting grid for this race, Aleix Espargaro along with Miller and Martin on the front row. Then we get Binder. He then is ahead on the grid as well of Bagnaia and Pedrosa, Oliveira, Zarco, Marini, Vinales. The top 10, Nakagami, Alex Marquez, Bezzecchi, Morbidelli, D'Antonio, Quartararo, Fernandez, Rins, Bradl, Mir, and Fernandez at the back of the field. Further down, we'll get Lucanoa, Folger, and Bastianini, who is not starting on this grid at the moment. So we go over to BT, and we're back in a second.
Canter, really, when we were in the circuit of the Americas, just shy of 33 miles of this beautiful ribbon of tarmac in Andalusia in southern Spain, and pretty much a packed Jerez ready as they head off on their final warm-up lap. Aleix Espargaro starts from pole position. Neil, he was fastest in the after day one yesterday. He was 5th fastest in the morning yesterday. He was quick again, 3rd quickest in the free practice session earlier today. So by my reckoning, it's Aleix Espargaro's race to lose, isn't it here?
I think you've teed me up here, Gav. Well, yeah, it's his race to lose, but I don't know, his win rate has not been that impressive throughout his Grand Prix career. In fact, Gav, he's done 304 GP races and he's only won 1. I mean, he's done 3 sprint races, obviously he's not won any of them. So, look, he's not a winning machine, but he's not going to get a better opportunity than this. He's been fast all weekend.
He's not going to get a better opportunity than this at all, as we are on the formation lap. Not hearing much from the track action. There we go, in our ears as well, appear in the comms box. Pol Espargaro, Vamos brother. No, that's to Aleix as well, who starts on pole position. Still no Pol Espargaro for a few races yet after his nasty accident at the start of the season. Let's see if I can get this green screen figured out before the lights go out. It's because I keep saying as well, it all keeps changing the background, so the chroma key keeps on failing due to it, but all it takes is a little bit of smoothness similarities, as you can see in the background. Oh, there we go, 480. So doesn't take too much to fix it as well. Into the last corner then, comically named as well. The last corner here is the Curva Lorenzo, turn number 13 on this track. There's only 12 laps ahead of us though for the MotoGP sprint race as well in Commentary Box B, thanks to Formula 1 having their sprint race. But their warm-up lap is in for another 25 minutes. Let's see how long it takes MotoGP to sprint into action. Field lined up on the grid then. It is round 4 of the 2023 MotoGP season. It's time for the 7th race of the year, our 3rd sprint race. It's all eyes to the lights with a green flag in the back. The red lights are on and the MotoGP sprint is under starters' orders. Lights out, race on. It's a high side start as well from Jack Miller, but he's going to have the lead in towards turn number 1. Alicia Spargo has been dropped out again for the first corner. Binder makes it a KTM 1-2. What about Pedrosa? He's still on the inside. Pedrosa's down to 7th position. Up goes Martin and Pedrosa as well into turn number 3. The downhill part of the track. Binder almost loses it. The rear of the car. Oh, there's a multi-rider crash in the middle of the track. This will bring out a red flag for sure. 3 Morbidelli's crashed out. Alex Marquez has crashed out. Augusto Fernandez, Aki Lucanoa all crashed out. And that's we had. Looks like hopefully everyone's okay. Few of them injured as well. I think Bezzecchi, our championship leader. Fernandez crashed out. Morbidelli's out. But that was our championship leader, Marco Bezzecchi, who got hit by the bike as well. Mid turn 3. I would not be surprised if the red flag came out to stop the race. Well, Fernandez too crashed out. Rider okay as we see Bagnaia battling for 3rd position with Alicia Spargo. He goes through. Miller leads. Binder 2nd. Bagnaia 3rd. Still no sign. Red flag. Red flag. So yeah, we knew that was going to happen, didn't we? No jump starts, but we get a red flag on the busiest day of the year. We knew something was going to happen to spoil it. The red flag has come out. The sprint race has been red flagged. Arms go up. So Alex Marquez, Franco Morbidelli, Marco Bezzecchi, and Augusto Fernandez all taken out. Fernandez has got going again, but we've got a bike on fire. Race red flagged due to crash in turn 2. All of the riders seem to be out of position. It was Marquez, Fernandez, Bezzecchi and Morbidelli, the riders involved, and that has understandably had to bring out the red flag as well. And all the riders now coming to the pit lane. Bezzecchi climbing over the barrier, which is great to see. Winded, I suspect, in that accident. But as soon as they went down, let's take another look at it actually from the lights out. It was we'll get to do this again then. Whether or not I'm here for that or not, we'll have to leave Megan to take over with this one then. But it was a bad start from Alicia Spargo. Great start from the 2 KTMs moving up on the inside. Pedrosa gets bagged out there by Quartararo. Quartararo is up to 8th position due to all of this, but it'll be original grid start positions, we understand. Now, here's the accident mid-pack. That's Maverick Vinales going wide, and it's going to be Alex Marquez who sweeps off the side as well and takes down Bezzecchi, takes down Morbidelli, takes down Bezzecchi as well. So this all starts, I believe, with Alex Marquez. I'm looking at it now on the monitor. So Marquez, Morbidelli's on the inside. He pinches the side of Marquez, and then Zarco just about gets away with it, but then all hell breaks loose behind him. And it is just chaos, and the red flag is out then, race suspended. And Bezzecchi got hit twice, and he got hit by a bike as well, coming at him full speed. So, well, the bike of Bezzecchi has been retrieved from the gravel trap. Less than 3 laps have been completed. It will be a total restart procedure when we get going again. If that will be within the next 20 minutes, I'm not sure, but it looks like Megan Birch is going to call her first start in MotoGP, because I've got to go to the Formula 1 race, and it's a total restart procedure. Less than 3 laps, and crucially less than 1 lap has been completed, which means we will do this all over again, folks. We'll have a whole new start procedure. It'll be a quick restart procedure as well. Everything's clear, so effectively we should be able to get going in the next 5 minutes with a quick restart procedure. It will be Alicia Spargo back on pole position. Miller will be 2nd. Race red flagged due to safety conditions. Original grid positions. Race to be restarted for 11 laps because they can't refuel the bikes. So it will be an 11-lap sprint race coming up for you soon. Bezzecchi, and that's crucial because everyone's got a second bike, so that is everybody who crashed out can get back in again. It keeps saying Augusto Fernandez has crashed out, but he's back in the pit lane. So this will be a total restart and a good restart for everyone who crashed out. So Bezzecchi will get going. He's already back in the pit lane. That was quite quick from turn forward. So it's the same outer road loop, so it shouldn't take too long. Fernandez got crashed out. He's now going to start in 21st position. Alex Marquez is going to start. And the worst effect, pit lane will open at 13 minutes past the hour. So at least and that'll be a quick restart procedure as well. So at least I will be able to commentate on some things today for MotoGP, but I will not be here for the end. Megan's going to have to take over as we get the confirmation. Pit lane will open at 15:13 for all of the action. So, red flag for the first time this year in a race, and it comes in a sprint. And race director Mike Webb has said, to be eligible for the restart, a rider must enter the pit lane within 5 minutes without having taken any shortcuts. So that cuts out Bezzecchi. So everyone who crashed out just a few minutes ago, who haven't gone back to the pit lane under their own speed, will not take the restart. So, that's Bezzecchi, the championship leader, out. This is going to be great news for Bagnaia because he's going to be right at the front. In 6th position. The worst affected, I was saying, for this, we've got the restart, is Fabio Quartararo. He made his way from 16th to 8th by the third corner, so he's going to have to start right back again in 16th position. And those soft tyres have already done one start, front and back. Are they going to be able to do it again? I'm not too sure. Let's go over to BT Sport and get all of the latest information as well.
Yeah, is he the only one then? I don't know about Alex Marquez, for example, because he's had a great race pace all weekend.
Yeah, we haven't seen yet, have we? Either Marquez. Morbidelli definitely was on the scooter coming back, as was Bezzecchi. I thought Quartararo made an excellent start.
He did. He was really aggressive. Good start. Really aggressive into turn one. Made up a lot of places. Like I said, the man it's really worked out for is Dani Pedrosa. He's had a practice. He's got that out of his system now. He knows now what to do with his start. And the fact that he's starting from the second run, you saw the other KTMs went away. It was always going to be the hardest part for him, I think, Danny.
I wonder if Alex Marquez did get back. Seems to be getting himself ready to go.
Looks like it, yeah.
I mean, there's every possibility. I mean, he was collided from the side, bike just dropped down, so he should be okay. Tony Congram there from IRTA, just giving some information to Lucio Cecchinello. Matteo Flamini, unfortunately, his rider won't be heading out for the 11 lap sprint. Yeah, looks like Alex Marquez rode his bike back under his own steam, so that's good news for Alex, and he looks okay.
Yeah,
hopefully.
And like I said, got really good race pace, so they'll be pleased about that. One man to watch out for, we haven't mentioned him yet, is Miguel Oliveira. He's qualified on the third row of the grid, really fast this weekend. He's on the Aprilia. It's working well for him around this track. If you remember, in round one in Portugal, his home race, he was incredibly fast. Obviously, very unlucky to get taken out in the race with that big crash with Marc Marquez. But he's back to full fitness now. We're talking to Wilco Zeelenberg, his team manager, yesterday, and he said he's an absolute pleasure to work with, which I don't think is any surprise, really.
So the reason it's now 11 laps is because you have that extra warm-up lap. They fuel the bike as if it were the race restart, but you get the 1 lap less, which is that extra sighting lap that we're talking about. Pit lane will open for 1 minute. In 3 minutes time they'll all head out onto the grid. One mechanic will be able to wait with them, check everything is okay. Another warm-up lap and away we go. From what you saw, the launch there, what is it with the KTM? The way they sat down, it's like they almost wheelie, but then have this amazing torque, this drive.
Do you know what it is? It's almost like a drag bike. It's almost like they don't feed the clutch out, they just drop it, and it's like they let the electronics control it, really. There is a bit of a gap there. Morbidelli's gone for a gap.
Yeah.
There was a gap there, I'll give him that.
Yeah. And Marquez was coming back to the normal line because you've got to open up turn 3, haven't you?
And Fernandez did the full sympathy crash. He hit nothing, he just grabbed the brake. If you watch Fernandez later, further back, yeah.
You can see Quartararo's great start on the inside. He's done so well.
Morbidelli's
a bit high up on the curb as well, isn't he, on the white line in there? And that could have all contributed. But there was he was going into a dead end eventually.
Yeah. Actually, what it looked like with Fernandez, I think it might have been Bradle chopped the throttle in front of him and he just clipped his back wheel and down he went.
Oh, we're on board here with
Maverick Vinales. This will be
Vinales.
interesting, 'cause he was right in that mix where the crash happened.
Again,
Watch
not
this.
a great start.
Right, so keep your eye on Morbidelli, who's on the inside there on the Yamaha. Watch him, he's going to dive to the inside, he's going to cut across. Watch Morbidelli, cut across. Oh, we're going to lose it now.
Maverick was hung out in turn 2, wasn't he? He was going to lose another few positions, so he'll be thankful of the race restart. I still can't get over those KTMs the way they started.
Yeah, so do you know what I mean? It's almost like, you know, normally on the start, you find the biting point, the lights go out, you release it, but then you have to feed it. There's a feeding period process. It's almost like the KTMs just hold the throttle full. Obviously, then that gives them a certain amount of RPM, and then they just dump it, literally dump the throttle. That's what it sort of looks like. Whatever system they've got going, it's clearly an advantage. We saw it obviously in Argentina, Gav, in the sprint race.
Was it Marini's bike that was on that went pop earlier this weekend?
No, it was Bez's.
If that bike's on fire and it's been sat on its side running for a little bit, there's every chance that already he's 2 engines down,
Yeah,
isn't
possibly. Bez is getting ready.
there? Surely he can't. They're going to send him out here, but...
Well...
Yeah, I mean, but Mike Webber's already said you've got to come back under your own steam.
Well, so there was a message on the screen explaining what the rules are, saying you've got to get back.
Well, I think they must be told by a IRTA representative very soon indeed. We'll see. We'll see now.
We saw that on the screen, but Michael Laverty said if they're going to declare it a full restart, which I don't think they are, because they're saying it's 11 laps, but anyway, but if they're saying it's a full restart, then you are allowed to, obviously, it's like a complete new race. Put it this way.
All riders eligible for the restart.
Right. Well, I'm glad, to be honest, but it doesn't make any sense with the message we got on the screen. Confused at home, we are equally confused here in the commentary box. But I am pleased that all the riders are getting another opportunity to entertain us.
I wonder if Morbidelli will be.
So the pit lane is open, and we've had the message from race control that all riders are in fact eligible to take the restart procedure, which is great news because we were actually worried that they wouldn't be able to take the restart up, but thankfully they are, and it's a total grid transformation as well in terms of who's racing where. The pit lane has now closed, and it will be a short restart procedure. So here's the plan. I'll commentate on the opening laps of the race. Megan will come in and take over commentating the Grand Prix. Here's your starting grid. Alicia Spargo on pole position, Jack Miller second, and Jorge Martin goes in third. Brad Binder is fourth, Francesco Bagnaia fifth, Danny Pedrosa sixth, Miguel Oliveira seventh, Johan Zarco eighth, Luca Marini ninth, Vinales 10th, Nakagami 11th, and Alex Marquez goes into 12th position. Bezecchi is 13th, Morbidelli 14th, Di Gianantonio 15th, Quadraro has to do all that work again in 16th, 17th for Fernandez, and Rins 18th, Bradol 19th, Mir in 20th, and Augusto Fernandez 21st, Jonas Folger is 22nd, Ike Lucanoa 23rd, and Ea Bastianini is not taking part in this sprint race. He has been pulled out as well on medical grounds as well. So we're coming up then. This is the sighting lap. Now if you're unsure what a restart procedure is, they get 60 seconds to leave the pit lane. They'll come to the grid. They'll have around about stationary for around about a minute, and then 30 seconds there, bang, off we go on the warm-up lap, and then we will go again. So I'll commentate on, I think, around about 3 laps of this race, and then Megan will take over as well in the commentary while I go and do Formula 1. So that grace period we had to get both races underway at the same time, yeah, gone. Meaning that the gentleman's agreement has been broken between MotoGP and Formula 1 as well. It's the whole reason Formula 1 started their race half an hour later as well, to avoid this clash. They're not going to change it now because the red flag happened when the pit lane procedure opened. Either way, they're on the grid again. Now, they've had a warm-up lap. Ideally, they could just do the lights again and get going, but that's not the way this rolls. We'll have to wait and go again on the warm-up lap here at Jerez. So now the riders circulate on the track for their next warm-up lap, and that is indeed Fabio Quartararo, who has got away last on the field. He starts 16th, but he wants to practice his start again, doesn't he? We knew he was having a few issues, but he wanted to double check the start, and he's done so now. I just hope that Megan can commentate on the race as clearly as I can. That's what, honestly what a worry that I'm having right now up here in the commentary box is leaving Megan in sole control of the race. But it worked earlier in qualifying, so it'll be fine here. I just hope she understands the race as quickly because she's not watching it. She's covering the F1 at the moment, making sure everything's okay. So I'll be here for like 9 minutes. That might be about 5 laps maximum before I have to disappear and take on with Formula 1. And the longer this warm-up lap takes, the longer it's going to. But they're all out there now circulating. Good that we're going to have a total restart though. We only lose 1 lap. Let's just hope it doesn't happen again. Red flags tend to breed red flags at this track. It's the first Spanish Grand Prix I can remember being stopped since wet weather in 2012 in the Moto2 category as well. They had to stop it. I don't think we've had a red flags race since. The championship standings we already went through. Bezzecchi on 64 points. Bagnaia 6 points back on 58. He stands the best chance of getting back into contention after falling off at the Circuit of the Americas. So, and it's nearly happened again. Look at that. That's Alicia Spargo, who is our pole sitter. He got wiped out on the course to the grid. So everyone's a bit nervous. Everyone's a bit on the level of what's going to happen next. So they all form up for a second go at the sprint race. We're down to 11 laps in total. The first race is declared null and void. All riders eligible for the restart. Miguel Oliveira lining up along as Johan Zarco last in. First out then, green flag in the back. The sprint race for Moto2. Take 2 is under starters' orders. Lights out, and again it's a bad start from Malaysia Spargo. This time he comes across Jack Miller, and round the outside comes Binder. Binder takes the lead into turn 1 with a lovely sweep around. Danny Pedrosa's going to make it a KTM 1-2-3, but gets forced out wide. On the inside comes Jorge Martin to protect third position, and actually Bagnaia's up to 4th. Now this is the tricky cut back through turn 2 and 3. Are they all going to get through cleanly this time? Answer yes. As now Martin in 3rd, he's got Bagnaia just alongside him. Can Pecco get anything through? No, the 2 KTMs making a battle at the front of the field. Binder leads, Miller 2nd, Martin is in 3rd, Bagnaia in 4th position as well. Zarco up into 6th, passing Miguel Oliveira back in the background of the picture as well. So now as we head down towards turn 6, the Dry-Sack corner, late on the brakes as well, trail brake in the back, swoop back through, the helicopter goes over the top. This is where Schumacher and Villeneuve had their accident, and more recently in MotoGP, Pedrosa, Lorenzo and Dovizioso having their crash back in 2018. No one going for an error through that part of the track then. So Binder leads with Miller 2nd. The KTMs keep their advantage at the front of the field. A little bit of a twitch there for Martin, who takes 2nd away. That Ducati forcing his way to the front of the field. Miller can't do anything. Martin stays in a 2nd position. Bagnaia's been forced back a little bit actually. He's falling into the clutches of Alicia Spargo for the 2nd time. Had a bad getaway. Zarco is under pressure. Zarco's getting on the inside line. Zarco's been forced back. Zarco's got wide in the exit the last 2 corners, and now Bradl's dropped right back as well. The timing screen changing very, very quickly here as they come back through. And now completing lap number 1 of the MotoGP sprint. Up to turn 1 we go again. Binder leads from Martin. And again, Zarco under pressure from Viñales through turn 1. Viñales still P10 and holding P10. And there's Bezzecchi, Nakagami and Fabio Quartararo. Well, Fabio Quartararo, unfortunately, has not made the demon getaway he did on start number 1. He's only up, Quartararo's up 2 places from where he started. Morbidelli is down 2 places, so they've effectively swapped over on the overall board. And they now turn 5 down towards Dry-Sack, a very tight hairpin as well. Are we going to see any late breaks as well? This is from Miller on the KTM, trail breaking in, almost hits the side of Martin. Martin gets forced wide. Bagnaia trying to cut back on the inside line. He's not going to do anything for a cookie there, so he'll have to wait another lap. Miller retakes 2nd position, KTM 1-2. Martin trying to come back on the inside line, can't do it at turn 7 and 8. Now, what's happening further back? Because it's still closing up. Oh, hello a minute. Miller's made an error coming out of turn 9 and into turn 10. Martin's going to slip back through on the inside line at the right-hander and slip through on the inside. Thank you very much. And now is Miller Miller going to fall into the clutches of Bagnaia. Nope, Miller immediately repasses. Martin comes back in through turn 9 and 10. Bagnaia's on the back of this little battle as well. Binder's now ahead by half a second as well. So the battle for second is hotting up between these two, and they're not getting any difference between them. Bagnaia sends it up the inside into Lorenzo at turn 13, and he's got the move finally on the inside. That's a good, smart move as Quadraro's dropped back down to 14th position, but Morbidelli dropped down to 18th position. Oliveira's been given already a track limits warning. 1:38.202 for Binder. He's got the fastest lap of the race so far as well, as they come through on the lap. As they get on the inside line, there's Aleix Espargaro making a move on Miguel Oliveira, who nearly takes off his front wheel as well. Marini's been given a track limits warning as well. Aleix up into 5th position, Oliveira down into 6th position as well. As they come through and smoothly controlling each other as they come through. Dani Pedrosa with the fastest lap of the race then as well. That is a 1:37.927 as they come through. Oliveira now with the track limits warning on the braking zone. There's the 88 of Miguel Oliveira on the inside line of the braking zone. Oh, and Binder, who's leading the race, goes a bit deep into turn 6. And Miller trying to go through on the outside, not going to work there. 9 to go, so we've done 3. It's 2:22. I'm going to be leaving in a few moments, and Megan Birch is going to be taking my place up here in the commentary box position. Ready to go. Alex Marquez is in 9th position as well. Just changing between the two of them, and the race lead going to change again. Can Binder get on the back of... Can Binder get on the back of Miller? Binder leads, Miller second. Then we've got Bagnaia, Martin, Aleix Espargaro, Oliveira, Pedrosa up into 6th position as a wild card entry as well. Then we get Zarco, Alex Marquez, Vinales, Marini, Nakagami, Bezzecchi. Then we get Quadraro coming in as well. Megan, bring about it, Megan is on the inside. Binder makes the move, has to go defensive. Miller takes the lead. Miller takes the lead on the inside line. Great job, and now Bagnaia's in 3rd position, ready to capitalise. Bring about it, Megan.
Never before have I heard Joshua talk so quickly, but it sounds like he's doing horse racing. Right, so 8 laps to go on this sprint race, and I am going all hippity on the thing. Oh, and I'm wearing green, I've just remembered that. Alex Marquez has fallen to the back of the grid. He's crashed out. Rider okay, yellow in sector 1. How did that happen? Are we going to get a replay, or are we just going to be stuck in the darkness again? I feel like we're going to be stuck in the darkness right now. We're on board with Marco Bezzecchi at the bottom of the screen, teetering quite a lot around there. Let's hope he doesn't fall too. Quattararo just got passed by Di Giannantonio, and it looks like Alex Marquez is trying to get back underway, though I'm not sure he can. Here's a replay of what happened. We're on board with Vinales right now, and he just drops it round the corner, and I think that's his father there. Nakagami's falling right down to right down the grid. He is crashed out with sectors 1, 3 and 4 yellow flags, so I'm guessing he crashed out there. Rider okay. Please tell me we're going to get a replay of that. How many have we lost so far? That is a lot of crashes apparently. So turn 9 crashed at Nakagami, and are we going to get a replay? I don't know, but we're on board with someone right now. I don't know who. I think it is Bagnaia. So no other droppers looks like. Vinales track limits warning. Are we going to get a replay what happened to Nakagami, or just going to be left in the dark? Apparently we're going to be left in the dark, though. There's like, oh no, here's a replay. We're on board with Vinales again. Oh, he's a curse today. Right, so oh, he just drops it as well. I swear, Zarco and Marini better watch out, because apparently Vinales is a curse today. I mean, he's even got a track limits warning. Everyone who's around him is just like, you're either track limits warning or crashing. That was very close there going around this corner. Miller track limits warning. Just saw it look like Bagnaia almost ramming into Binder just then when he was putting his leg out. I thought he was going to absolutely kick him off the bike. 7 laps to go. That all happened in 1 lap. Kind of scary. Pedrosa has a track limits warning, and it's kind of gone silent now. Fernandez passes Mir at to remember who was next to him then. Marini, track limits warning. 7 laps to go still, and for coming up to the end of this lap, meaning there are 6 laps to go now. Right. Okay, no one's dropping now, thank goodness, and I don't have to talk like doing horse racing. Oh, and I see Lukanoa's actually got a heart on his front wheel. That's good. I agree with that. Though, it doesn't seem to be getting them very good. That might be due to position though. Right, so I think that is the 2 Moonies. I can't remember the specific name of the Ross's company. Ross's team. They seem to be battling it out for 10th position, and it doesn't look like Marini's wanting to give that up too well. Miller is still leading the pack. Bezzecchi manages to pass Marini. Don't know how he managed to do that. I think we're on board with him now. Right. So, a lot of people are track limits warnings. Oh! Alessio Spargro's dropping down the field. He has crashed out, it appears. Oh! That was quite a hefty whack. Literally, it's like he spun out and then it's like his bike decided, do you know what, I'm going to do some cartwheels. He appears to be okay though. That was live, I saw that straight away. Obviously rider okay. Go yellow back out in sectors 3 and 4. It's always sector 9. I mean not sector 9, turn 9. Sector 3 and 4. It's always there. Unless it's turn 1. 5 laps to go now, and it feels like we're losing someone every single lap. And that is not a happy man right there. Here's a replay of what happened. And yeah, he just loses it, and then his bike decided it wanted to go do some cartwheels, be a gymnast. Unfortunately, he did not take him with it. Right, so we're just going to see who has track limits warning out of the top 10. Let's count. Miller, Bagnaia, Oliveira, Pedrosa, Vinales, Marini. That's 6. 6 out of the top 10. Only 4 of them have not got track limits warning. That's a big problem. Tomorrow it's going to definitely be an exciting race for Joshua to commentate on. I can definitely say that. Hold on, I'm just going to fetch my phone. Right, so no one's crashing now. Good. Don't crash. Never thought I'd say that before. So apparently I'm not wanting anyone else to crash because honestly it just seems to get progressively worse. Lukanoa track limits warning. It's Lukanoa. 19th, he's managed to get past Folger. Let's see who behind him then. Right, so 4 laps to go now of this session. And it's... How's this be going? Okay? Yes, Dad's just told me it's a race. Like, I know it's a race, so I call it such. I don't like sprint races. Just pointing that out. See, it takes so much excitement. It's only not happened once. For me, sprint races are kind of on provisional. It's like, I'm not completely fond of them. They are exciting, though. I must admit that. Fernandez, Augusto Fernandez. Is it Augusto? I don't know how to say his name. Dad's speaking, though I can't hear him because I've got my headphones on and I've got bikes screaming at me. Mears crashed out. Rider okay, it appears. I say don't crash out, you crash out. See? 1 every single lap. Hi. Hi. He's got his water. yellow sector 3. BR46, is that Rossi's team? No, Rossi's team now. Mears rejoined the race now. The yellow has gone in from sector 3 and Mears' bike seems to be okay. Here's a replay of what happened to him. He's going round one of the corners at sector 3 and then just loses it, though he stayed with the bike. Kinda. He kinda stayed with the bike, kinda didn't. He managed to stay with it for about 2 seconds. I need a drink. 3 laps to go now of the sprint race. Morbidelli passes Fernandez. Right. Hey, I just realised something. Fernandez has the Genoa behind him, who's number 27, and then he has Morbidelli in front of him, who has Bradle in front of him, and their numbers add together to make 27. My friend Hallie says when it comes to numbers, I don't think normally. Quattararo has a track limits warning. I really don't. She has a point. Right, so 3 laps to go of this sprint race now. Miller is still in the lead of the race with Binder in second and Bagnaia in third. Martin is trying his best to get into third position, though he just can't quite get there so far. He's 2 tenths down, it appears, and it doesn't look like he's going to be passing him anytime soon. Morbidelli has a track limits warning. How many? How many? What? No, there's a lot more than one who hasn't got a track limits warning. I wish you could see it on the little thing. There should be a thing for that. So, as far as I can count... Oh! It looks like Binder's trying to take the lead of the race. He's going for it. Can he pass Miller going round this corner with 2 laps to go? And he can! Can he hold it though when going round this next corner? Yes! He seems to be building quite a nice little gap between them though. Ooh! It looks like Miller's about to try and take the hold of the race. So I don't think he can make it. He's just got beaten out by Binder. He hasn't been able to get there, unfortunately. 2 laps to go of the sprint race left, and let's count from, like, at the top 15 now. Who has track limits warnings and who does not? Miller, Bagnaia, Oliveira, Pedrosa, Vinales, Marini, Quartararo, Bradle. 15. 8. There's a thing called behaving. I don't think they realise what that is anymore. They didn't behave enough so that they didn't have a red flag. We're on the last lap of the sprint race now, and please no more crashes. If there's another red flag, I think Joshua might cry. So, looks like Binder has managed to make quite a good, gap between him and Miller, with almost 4 tenths of a second between them. So, Miller has, due to this, Bagnaia has passed Miller and Vinales has passed Zarco. Though, could this mean that Miller is falling behind? Because he got way too close to him. Could he be falling behind at all? I wonder. Let's look. He does appear to be kind of slower, because it appears like Martin's catching up to him quite quickly. I do not like the look of this for Miller. And the battle continues between Zarco and Vinales. Zarco has retaken 7th position. And it's... Okay, for some reason it's gone really quiet. Now it's gone actually noisy. And yet again, Vinales near the line has retaken 7th place. Coming up to the line now, and it's Binder wins the sprint race for the Spanish race of the year, the Spanish sprint race. I don't know how to phrase it. So that was like 2 laps towards the end. He managed to get that. Wow. Oh, and look at the sprint on the Azerbaijan F1. There's a yellow flag out. Joshua ain't having a good day, is he? Can't catch a break. Dad, I can't hear you. Here's Hazard. Yeah, they still have 1 lap to go. And yet they've got a virtual... Bezecchi leads the championship. I did not get to see how much he led it by. Ooh, I've just seen the reason why there's a virtual safety car in F1. Here's a replay of Jack Miller. Don't know what this is of. I generally don't know what they are so concerned about. Right, so I'm going to read out the standings as they are. And first place goes to Binder with a very good overtake, I would say, 2 laps before the end of the sprint race. Then in second is Bagnaia, who managed to claw his way up into second from 3rd position from a, let's face it, very, I want to say deflated, because I think he got distracted. Miller, basically, he overtook Miller. I think he got a bit distracted, with probably frustration. So in 3rd place is Miller. I don't know how he managed to fend off Martin. 4th place Martin, 5th is Oliveira, 6th is Pedrosa, Vinales is 7th, Zarco 8th, Bezecchi 9th, who now leads the championship, it appears, even though he came 9th. Marini is 10th, 11th is D'Antonio, 12th Quartararo, 13th Rins, Raul Fernandez is 14th, Bradle is 15th, Morbidelli 16th, 17th is Fernandez, Lucanoa is 18th, Folger is 19th, and out of the race is Mia, who would have been in 20th, Spargro, who would have been in 21st, Alex Marquez, and Nakagami, who would have been in 22nd and 23rd. Still can't figure out why Nakagami is below Marquez, since Marquez went out first. That seems wrong to me. So, coming up to the podiums now. I'm just going to ask Josh when he wants to me to sign off. So, congratulations all around for Brad Binder. Is it Brad Binder? Yeah, it's... I can't remember which brother is in it. Yeah, it is Brad. I thought so. Can never know whether it's his brother who stayed in or not. So, very good day for Brad Binder, it seems. Bagnaia has seemed to have a pretty okay day. Coming first, I think. When I left the box earlier on for the qualifying, he was first. I think he finished first. If not, he had a good day then. And now second in the sprint race. Miller was going to be first in the sprint race, and then he just lost it somehow. I don't know what happened to him. He just kind of seemed to lose his edge, something that I've seen Bagnaia do so many times, including last race. Very happy smiles going round the pit lane right now. Usually when Joshua's texting someone to do something, he has someone else to talk, but I do not. So you're just going to have to sit in silence when I... Right. You can see in the pit lane, Martin very graciously accepting that he could not pass Miller for third position. Sadly not on the podium, though valiant effort from him. I must say, he did try very hard and was only 2 tenths away, almost, from gaining third place. So, there's the sprint medals that will be given to Binder, Bagnaia and Miller for their positions today. I believe interviews might be happening, I'm not sure. Just going to check on the Formula 1. They are at safety car. So beware of that. We're on lap 14 and they're on a safety car. I could have just looked to my right, because it's on the screen there. Right, so I'm going to end it now since I am needed somewhere else. Thank you all for watching, and please do go join Joshua for what is remaining of the apparently very exciting sprint for Azerbaijan. See what I mean? Sprints are always exciting, though what is the race going to be like? So thank you for watching the Spanish sprint race for MotoGP, and please join for the race tomorrow, and go over now to the Azerbaijan F1 sprint race that Joshua is covering with Jess and Josh. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.